Okay, inshallah. Ina alhamdulillah. Wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulallah. I want to welcome everybody to our Aqidah class. And this is our class, Know Your Lord. Know Your Lord. And this is based on the book written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. For those of you who have not yet purchased it, please go to Amazon. The book is on sale for $14. Please buy this book. It should be a part of everyone's library. This is the first of the Correct Belief series. All three of these books, we already completed Wala wal Bara. These three books will help you to develop what the correct belief system is. Unfortunately, we are living in the days of fitan, the days which our prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned us of, the days in which Islam will become strange, the sunnah will become forgotten, the sunnah will become abandoned, the days in which the Muslims will follow in the footsteps of the Christians and Jews to the point that we imitate them in everything that they do. We will use science. We will use technology. We will use society's issues, society's problems as a means of trying to change the laws of Allah. And I want every Muslim listening to me to beware of something. The Sharia, the laws of Allah are for all time. No one has the authority to change the laws of Allah. Everybody understand that? Traditional Islam is what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with. Traditional Islam, as the Prophet Muhammad said, anyone who's upon a way other than that, you're not upon the correct way. You cannot sit around. I keep telling y'all, the so-called scholars, no one has the authority to say we're going to divide the laws of Allah into different categories. No one on this planet, no human being has the authority. I don't care how high you think you are in your PhDs, in your knowledge. I don't care if the people worship you, if the people call you Mufti Sheikh. No human being has the authority to look at the laws of Allah and say we're going to divide them into categories. The essentials that we have to abide by and non-essentials that we can change. This is what's happening today. This is what the prophet said would happen. He already said that the later generations will do this. We talking about the war against Islam. Didn't I tell y'all Allah's in control? Allah says, if you live, the prophet said, if you live to see the days in which the Muslims will make lawful the things that Allah made haram. If you live to see the days in which the Muslims will indulge, will make alcohol, drugs, sex out of wedlock lawful, same-sex relationships lawful, murder amongst each other, killing each other, oppressing each other. If you live to see them doing this, if you live to see them changing the laws of Allah, issuing fatwa, issuing Islamic verdicts that go against what Allah said, know that there will be repercussions. Know that Allah will send war. Like I told y'all, this war is not because of Israel. It's not got, ain't got a darn thing to do with Israel or Zionism. This is the repercussions of us Muslims sitting back, making men and women scholars and muftis when they're not qualified to even be such. And then we're sitting back, allowing them to change the laws of Allah, make things lawful that Allah said can never be lawful. Saying that Allah's laws can be divided up. We can change family laws. Where does Allah say that? Where does Allah say that his laws of divorce can be changed? That the so-called scholars of the decade can overrule him when it comes to divorce, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to gender issues? Where does Allah say that because of the problems in society, we can look at Allah's laws and try to change them to suit the society? Allah's laws are supposed to prevent society from becoming the way it is. We don't sit there and change Allah's laws. We don't say, okay, it's okay to support LGBTQ. We don't say it's okay to support gender role reversal, feminism, chauvinism. The Prophet Muhammad said anyone who ascribes to any type of ism is not one of us. You're not a Muslim. You're not upon what the Prophet Muhammad was upon. Who said that we can look at the laws of Allah and say that it's okay for free mixing? And like I told you guys, I don't want to hear this ignorance about how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't have a barrier between the women and men when they prayed. That's a lie. That's a lie. They can only say that stuff to you guys who don't know the hadiths. The barrier, as Aisha radiallahu anha said, between the women and the men were the young boys. The women and men did not pray together in the mosque. The women and men were not free mixing like that. What's the source, Sahih Bukhari? Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said the Prophet would put the men in the front, and then the women in the back, and between them, that's the wall, that's the barrier. The barrier between them were the young boys. Y'all got to realize these brothers who call themselves scholars, I keep telling y'all, they're nothing. They're not scholars. They're crazy. I keep telling y'all ain't no scholars in America. How many times I got to tell y'all that? Ain't no scholars in America. Most of the people in America are renegades, kicked out their countries because the countries they come from recognize what losers they were. Keep telling y'all they can only run that game on those who are ignorant. This free mixing, that's not a part of Islam. Oh no! Women have rights. Men have rights. We also have roles. And also Allah protects the two sexes so we don't end up doing what the Kafirs are doing. Well, what the Muslims are doing now. Y'all should see what's going on in these masajids now. Since they got the free mixing, they allowing the women and men to pray together. They allowing the women to be on the executive boards, part of decision making. Islam, there's nothing in Islam that says a woman cannot be educated. One of the most educated women of all times was Aisha radiallahu anha. Hafsa was one of the few women of her day who knew how to read and write. Aisha didn't know how to read and write, but Aisha had a photographic memory. She was the student of the Prophet Muhammad, as was his stepdaughter, Zainab. Women are educated. Allah says in the Quran, be distinct, be better, stand out over the non-believers. So we're educated, but we know our role. We know our role as women. That's the difference. No one is saying that a woman can't go to school and get an education. We can do that, but learn your role. What do you do with that education? It's not to go out and work. That's the job of the man. I'm going to take that education I got and apply it with my children, because the prophet said everyone is a guardian. And everyone is responsible for their wards. As a Muslim woman, learn your place. Your place is your children. You're going to be held accountable for your children. You take that education that you got and educate your children with it. Marry the right type of man. Marry a man who can provide and maintain like he's supposed to do. If you got the right type of husband, there's no need for you to work. Your priority is your home. But nobody is saying that you can't be educated. I am educated. All the prophets' wives were educated, but they knew their place. They didn't go out in the work field. Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, was a businesswoman, wealthy. She didn't travel. She didn't go out and work as no businessman. She hired men to work for her. Y'all understand that? The prophets' wives, they would work from home. Let's get the real deal. They worked from home. Sauda, may Allah be pleased with her. She used to make baskets and make toys and wedding presents for the people. And she would give them to her servant to go out and sell at the marketplace. Zainab, may Allah be pleased with her. She used to work with leather and make all type of clothing and stuff. And she'd give it to her servants to go out and sell for her in the marketplace. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, was a nurse and worked on the battlefield. When there was a battle, whenever they fought, she'd go out as a nurse and give water to the wounded and carry them back with the other team of nurses to the hospital that was attached to the mosque. They did everything from home. They weren't out like you sisters today. You going to school, getting degrees in engineering and all of that. That's all fine and good. And then you out there working like a man. You've reversed the role, gender roles. No one is saying that a Muslim woman cannot be educated. We're supposed to be educated because we're supposed to be distinct. But unlike the Kafirs, we don't educate ourselves just because we want to be men. We educate ourselves for our children so we can teach them about life, about Allah, about what their purpose is. You guys understand? Don't get it twisted. But we got these brothers today changing the laws of Allah. They say you can change the laws concerning family and gender. Oh, yeah, they got it. They are saying that women can go to college, even live in the dorms, and women can go out in the workforce. Women need to work. Women need to be engineers. Women need. What about the children? While the women and men are working, who's taking care of the kids? You can't send them to the mosque. Because guess what's going on in a lot of the masajids? What's going on in a lot of masajids is molestation. Oh, yeah. What did the prophet say? My nation will imitate and follow the Kafirs into a hole. Just like the Christians molest their kids in their little schools, that's happening here with us too. We can't even send our kids to Muslim school. They're getting bullied. They're getting teased because of their race, and some of them are being sexually molested. So while you brothers are putting out fatwas, changing the laws of Allah, saying that you have that authority when you don't. And let me correct something else. I hear this garbage about what Umar, may Allah be pleased him, did. Umar was the caliphate over the Muslims. Umar will be the third person to enter paradise after the Prophet Muhammad. Umar was the one who the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if there had been a prophet after me, it would have been him. How dare you men of today, you peasants, call yourselves scholars and try to compare yourself with what Umar did. Shame on you. If Umar were living today, he'd take the head of all of you. If Umar were living today and seen what you brothers, how you brothers have sold Islam for the price of fame, how you sold Islam for the price of being on the Kafir president's task force. If Umar were living to see that, he wouldn't even consider none of you Muslims. And then to lie on him, to think that you can be like him. He has that authority. Umar stopped the women from coming to the mosque because he could. When he saw how as Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said, this is Sahih Bukhari. When the women came to her complaining, they said, look what Umar has done. He won't allow, how can he overrule what Allah and the Prophet said? Aisha said, if my husband, the Prophet, were living today, and if he saw how you women behave in the mosque, and if he saw what was going on, he would have forbidden you from coming too. Don't none of you men on this planet compare yourself to Umar or any of those companions. You are not him. You are not Abu Bakr. You don't have no authority to change Allah's laws, to divide them into categories of essentials and non-essentials so you can be on the president's task force of America. You brothers are shameful. And so many of us used to respect you. I was one. I respected many of you. Thought you were people of knowledge. And I come to see that you are no different than the Christians and Jews. It was always about fame. Fame, fame. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the first group of people that will be dragged by their faces and thrown in the fires of hell are those men who call themselves scholars, because you men are disgraceful. You can take your PhDs, you can take your universities and cling to them, because you'll be sitting up in that hellfire with your PhDs. Hikmah, I want the converts to understand there's no such thing as going to school to be a scholar. I tell y'all that. Because Allah says in the Quran, knowledge and understanding comes from Him. And He only gives it to a select few. The true scholars didn't even use that title. Did y'all know that? The companions, if you refer to the companions as being a scholar, they'd bust you in your head, because they knew the implementations that what comes with it. If you would go to the companions to ask them a question about Islam, they'd get angry. They'd say, why did you ask me? Why didn't you ask Umar? Why didn't you ask Abu Bakr? They're better than me. These brothers want to jump up, answer questions about Islam to show off for the fame. And now they've gotten so famous and rich with their fat stomachs. Look at them. Look at you, brothers. I want you, brothers, who have now come up with this fatwa about how y'all can take the Sharia, the laws of Allah, and divide them into essentials and non-essentials, and you're comparing yourself to Umar. Astaghfirullah. I want you, brothers, to go stand and look in the mirror at yourself. Look at you today. And then I want you, brothers, to look at the pictures of you from back in the 90s. You brothers, you graduated from the University of Medina. You graduated from El Azhar. You came to America in the 80s and the 90s. Look at how you looked in those pictures. You see the light that was on your face? You first came to America. You were calling people to the Sunnah after Sheikh Atlee. Oh yeah, I'm going to give the old man. I'm giving the old man his due. He was first, not you. Sheikh Atlee was here after Malcolm X. Hello, old man first. You came after him. You are the brothers. With your degrees. By the way, Sheikh Atlee ain't got no degree. He's just like Sheikh Uthaymeen. Just like Sheikh Uthaymeen, just like Sheikh bin Baz, just like Sheikh Albani. May Allah be pleased with all of them and forgive them of their sins. I mean, none of them had these online certificates in Islam. Sheikh Atlee ain't got one either because, like I told y'all, true knowledge and understanding of the deen comes from Allah, not from a certificate. By the way, I don't have a degree in Islam either, but try me. Try me, Bo. I got degrees in technology. I got degrees that I can use for here. I got a degree in communications. That's why I can sit here on this internet since 1986 and convey Allah's message. Okay? I got degrees in history, so I can tell you the truth about, did Arabic women wear burqas? Okay? But as far as a degree in religion, that's ludicrous. That comes from Allah. You ain't got to go to school for that. The best scholars, they didn't go to school for that. They sat with the people of knowledge, the true people of knowledge, like Sheikh Atlee did, like Sheikh bin Baz did, like Sheikh Uthaymeen did, like Albani did. Okay? So don't sit around flaunting your PhDs, because your PhDs show me that you ain't got nothing. You had to go pay for knowledge. Allah didn't give it to you. You paid for it. Okay? So don't flaunt your degrees to Layla. I'm the wrong one. Because I'm going to say, why didn't you get a degree in technology? So you can take care of your family. So you wouldn't have to be worried about getting subscribers off of YouTube, getting hits off of YouTube. You'd get a real job. All right? Some of you do have degrees in technology. Some of you are doctors. That's a good thing. Some of you are scientists. That's a good thing. Some of you don't have no problem. You take care of your families. You don't depend on YouTube. But then you fall in the category of, did all those degrees mess you up mentally? All that theology, all that psychology, philosophy, logic, deductive logic, and symbolic logic. Oh, I took those classes. Did they mess you up? Did Shaitan get to you? Remember, Shaitan, he doesn't waste his time with the average layman. No, the Shaitan, he tries to take down the true people of knowledge. So for you brothers, did you allow Shaitan to succeed in taking you down? because you came to America. You were originally upon Sirat al-Mustaqim. You called the people to Islam in its truthfulness with the understanding of the companions. You weren't preaching the four mathabs. You were preaching what Allah said, what the Prophet said, and the understanding of those companions. Look at the pictures of you when you came here in the 80s and 90s. You had a light about you, brothers. You aren't young, you're old. A lot of y'all the same age I am. I'm 63. You brothers I'm talking to are in the same age category as me. Your 60s, some of you are 70s. Some of you might even be in the late 50s. Look at you now with your big fat pot belly, your stomachs. We look at you on videos. Your stomachs are sticking out. You look just like some Kafir man who done lived high off the hog. By the way, those big stomachs are a sign that you got kidney issues. You better go get checked out, bros. Your stomach's hanging over. Like the prophet said, fatness. Fatness will spread amongst them. You're bald. Oh, yeah. Some of you used to be such good-looking men when you were calling the people to Islam in its truthfulness with the understanding of the companions. Your beards were shiny. Your beards were long. Your skin was radiant. Your hair was just like the prophets, nicely groomed. And look at you now. You got bald spots here, bald spots there, bald spots everywhere. Some of you have to shave your heads. What did the prophet say about that? This later generation, fatness will appear amongst them as they're changing the laws of Allah. Many of them will shave their heads. Was a prophet talking about you, bros? With your science degrees from these Kafir universities who are now on the task force of the American president. By the way, Turkey Day is next month. How many of y'all are going to be sitting in the White House this year? Everybody listening to me, check it out. You'll see them posting up on their Facebook pages, shaking hands with Kamala. Oh, yeah, they got a fatwa. Let's talk about that fatwa. Not only can the women and men pray together without a barrier, and like I said, the prophet's barrier were the young boys. You look at these massages, they don't have the barrier. They just got them butt to butt. Not only do they have those fatwas, but also you can shake hands. That's another one of Allah's laws. They say that falls in the non-essential category. You know, society is different. Society dictates that, you know, if you don't shake hands, you might not get hired. It's just the custom of American custom. So it's okay. We're going to say that law of Allah, that Sharia law can be, looked at, can be doctored up and changed. So under certain circumstances, we're going to allow men to be able to shake hands with women if it's a woman of authority, a woman of empowerment. Oh, that's their fatwa. Y'all think I'm lying? Go look it up. These are the non-essential laws that can be changed. Well, let's see how many of them y'all gonna see next month on Turkey Day, shaking hands in the White House like they did last year and every other year with Obama, that they put in office and checked the mark for LGBTQ and stuff, okay, by doing it. Let's see how many of these famous brothers y'all will see smiling in the camera, shaking hands with Kamala, with their arms hugging the women, their wives and other women with them, half dressed. Oh yeah, they bend the laws on that too. A woman doesn't have to be so abaya down. She can wear tighter fitting garments, put a belt on to blend in. Or she can put on some straight leg pants, blue jeans, or whatever the latest trend is to blend in. Let's see how many of them will be putting up those pictures like they do every year, because you can see how they sold the religion, sold the Quran for a miserable price. The miserable price is fame. Well, I'm here to let all of my students know no one can change the laws of Allah. Allah's laws cannot be doctored up. They cannot be sugar-coated because of society, because of the time. Allah's laws are for eternity here on this earth, in this world. Y'all understand that? And these brothers are not scholars. And even if they were, they don't have that authority. And anyone living on this planet today who is changing any of Allah's laws and rules and trying to compare himself with Umar or any of those first four caliphs is an idiot. Umar could do what he did because he was Umar. Abu Bakr, Uthman, Ali, they could do what they did because they were who they were. And how dare you think that you can stand and was beside them? They wouldn't have you. They'd have your neck. Be careful. The world is getting worse. Like I told y'all, this war, it's here. The war is not from the Israel. This war is from Allah. The prophet said it will start, and it started during the George Bush regime. It ain't started in October 7th. This started in George Bush regime. And it didn't start in Gaza. It started, like the prophet said, in the East. And all those countries in the East, Iraq, which it started. Remember Saddam Hussein? How we forget? The war in Kuwait, oh, y'all forgot that. Bosnia, oh, the genocide of Bosnia, y'all forgot that. My sister-in-law's Bosnia. Her family came here during that. This didn't just begin. It began like when the prophet said it would, with all those countries in the East. It's just worked its way to Gaza. Now it's past Gaza. It's in, what's that country? It's in Bangladesh now. It's going to eventually work its way right here to America. And I'm going to tell y'all, it's going to get here faster than we think. Because since we got this team of brothers who call themselves qualified scholars, when they're not qualified anything, but they call themselves qualified scholars, and they believe, and they are doing it, they're stripping and changing Islam. They're changing the laws, changing the rules, changing the guidelines of Allah. Since they're doing that and nobody else is trying to stop them, nobody is speaking out against it, it's going to get to America probably after the election. Y'all watch and see. We're going to start seeing some crazy stuff here because Allah don't like ugly. Allah don't like ugly. And again, whatever evil befalls us as a nation, like Allah says, we brought it on ourselves. Allah says, I'll destroy you all, punish you all together. But I promise I'll raise you up and judge you individually. So while y'all letting these ignorant men make laws and rules, I want y'all to know nobody can do that. Nobody can change that Quran, can change Allah's Sharia, can change anything. Y'all understand that? And it's too bad that nobody else is going to speak out. You're not going to hear any other daya speaking out like this in America but me. Well, there's a couple of others. But I don't think nobody going to get passionate. You know, Layla owns passion. Because I'm not here for subscribers. I'm not here for no brownie points. My brownie points, inshallah, I hope will come from Allah. That's why I'm a single woman. Y'all know anybody worthy of Layla? Seriously. Except the prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, up there. All right. So that's my lecture for today, my khutbah, as they say. What the brothers say, Layla gives good khutbahs. That's my khutbah for the day. And no one is saying that women can't talk. We know we can, but where am I speaking from? I'm not speaking from the pulpit. I'm speaking from my computer, in my bait, in my home, my bedroom. Like the prophet said. You won't see Layla sitting up at the mosque like these other women who are also part of the president's task force from these online institutes of fitting. You won't see me traveling around the country, sitting up in front of men on a pulpit, talking to them about Islam. I'm in my bait, my chambre à coucher, my bedroom. That's right. I got that right. Yeah, I speak French. My mom's Creole. Father was Egyptian, mom Creole. I'm a chambre à coucher. Hope I said it right. Bedroom, right, mom? Chambre à coucher. I'm in my chambre à coucher. That means, am I right, Awa?
Yes.
I didn't say bathroom, did I? I'm in my bedroom, giving my dawah, speaking.
Yes,
okay, chambre à coucher. I didn't want to say bathroom. Could have been the bathroom. You never know. I got to put a joke in. That's me. Yeah. Thank you. You know, comes back. You know, Layla's kooky.
It's so good, Sister Layla. Your French is not bad, mashallah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was my khutbah for today. In my home, from my bedroom, behind my hijab. What's my hijab? My computer screen. All y'all see is this. This is what can be seen. Y'all don't see me standing up. Oh, yeah. Can't no man see my lady parts. The face is not part of the order. The voice is not the order as long as you make it like mine is. Strong. This is my Barbara Walters voice. You learn how to speak this way when you go to school for journalism. Okay? She had the perfect voice for a woman. Okay? So I'm following the rules of Allah. Nothing haram about this. All right. So don't get it twisted, guys. Be careful, because these fatwas are going around. Y'all getting ready to see some big changes in America from these brothers. I am in shock. All I can say is I am in shock, but I'm in more shock because you would think that the other men in America, these other brothers, would call them out. That's why I don't get. You know that these men have lost it. Something wrong with them. They can't change Allah's laws and say there's essentials and non-essentials, and we're going to put the family law can be changed, gender law. They can't do that. There's nothing in Islam. And then they're going to say that, Umar, don't you dare mention Umar's name. But why ain't you other Muslims in America stopping them? And I'm talking about you other brothers who call yourselves scholars. You men call yourselves scholars, but you're cowards. You're not scholars. You're cowards. Why ain't you stopping them? And I don't mean stopping them by getting on social media, slander and all. I'm talking about pull them, have a meeting one-on-one with these brothers. Have meetings one-on-one with these brothers and let them know the rest of this ummah in America ain't going for it. Y'all need to do that. Don't do it on social media. You know, meet with them. Y'all know who they are. It's only a handful. Pull those handful to the side and tell them y'all got to stop it. We're not going for this as an ummah. It's time that you vacate your positions. Let me tell y'all how the prophet handled it. Let's talk about it. How did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam handle it? When he saw men who he put in positions of authority abusing it, he would remove them. Maybe it's time that the rest of you brothers in America who call yourselves scholars, remove these men from their positions of power. Let's talk about it. You got this telling we ain't going to cover for you no more. We're not going to hide for you no more because you're public. Your stuff is, your sinful crap is public. It's all over the internet. Your fatwas are all there. Signed, sealed, delivered. The videos, you can't fake a video. So it's time that you other brothers meet with this handful, the handful of fools. That's what I call them. The handful of fools. Meet with them, the rest of you men of authority, and say, we ain't tolerating it. We're done. You have abused your positions long enough. You've given us Muslims a bad look. And now you're taking it to another level by thinking you can do what Umar did. It's time that you brothers vacate your positions. Force them out. Tell them step down. This ain't about YouTube. This ain't about no views. This is us in private. Step down. Vacate the seat. And then you go to all the communities and say they have been removed from their seats. They have abused their authorities. You go to the rest of them communities, the boards, since we got these boards. They've been made to vacate. And if you support them, we're going to vacate you too. Hello, y'all got to handle stuff the right way. It ain't about shaming people on social media. Because all that do is make them more rich. They get a lot of views, They get millions of dollars. Handle it the Islamic way, the way the companions would. These brothers have gone too far. Some of the stuff I've seen now, they've gone too far. It's ridiculous. And if we don't stop it, the war will be here real quick. The war might be here after Turkey Day. Whoever wins the election, the war be here right after Turkey Day. So you other brothers of authority, or y'all call yourselves scholars, do your job. Check this handful. Check this handful. Check this handful. All right. So let's get to the class for the day. That's my khutbah. All right. So the reason, like one of the sisters is asking, how did we get this way as a nation? We got this way as a nation because, like the prophet said, whenever we deviate from the Quran, whenever we deviate from the authentic Sunnah way of doing things, there's going to be repercussions. And whenever we forget what our purpose is, we forget what Allah commanded us to do and how to fulfill that purpose, that's when we become like we are right now as a state, as a ummah. So we got to get back to the basics. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam not only told the companions that when you live to see all this fitan, that there'll be repercussions, war and stuff, and calamities, but he also told us what to do. He said, if you live to see Islam become strange like that, fall back. He said, fall back. For those of you who believe, fall back on your Aqidah. Fall back on La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. That means reacquaint yourself. Reaffirm within yourself this. Your purpose. You were created. We were created to worship Allah. Allah. He's the creator of everything good and bad. Allah. He sees everything we do, everything we say, even if it's hidden. Allah, he knows what lurks in the heart of man. You can't hide from him. You can fool the stupid Muslims in America who don't know their deen, but you can't fool Allah. So it's all about getting to know your Lord. And the last time we met, we went over the preface and the introduction of this book. This is the book. Make sure you guys go to Amazon and purchase it. It will change your life. It's only $14. If the book is selling out, let me know, because I can then let Sheikh Kareem know, because he knows I'm teaching it. All right? Let's put the PowerPoint up, because what I'm going to do is review what we went over last time, and we're going to talk about a few things today. And I did post up on social media the pages too. Let me, here we go. Hold on. One of the brothers say, I want to hear some more of your khutbah. Khutbah is over. You must be one of the kids. The kids, I'm telling you guys, the kids get me. You know, it's these adults that don't get Layla. Yeah. Okay, the khutbah is over, baby. Now it's time for you to take notes on this class. Okay, today we're going to speak about how, remember the other day, by the way, today is my Islam Q&A show. Remember last Friday when I had my show, one of the sisters asked, what's the first thing? Said that one of the new Shahadas said that, you know, being a new convert, what should she focus on? And remember, I told her to focus on Tawheed, on knowing about Allah. And somebody else said, no, it should be Arabic. That's not true. Knowledge of Allah comes before even the knowledge of the Quran, guys. Okay? It's not about trying to learn how to read the Quran with tajweed. That's later. You guys shouldn't be concentrating on that. Even for those of you who were born Muslim, but your aqidah, your belief system is so twisted. You need to learn about Allah, because knowledge of Allah comes before the Quran. I'm going to prove that in today's lecture. But first, I'm going to give you a quiz to cover what we discussed the last time we were here. Look at this scenario. And by the way, this is an example of Mekkositic tafsir. How does Layla? I told you guys, I use the approach. My approach is I use the analytical approach combined with thematic and comparative. Y'all understand that? Here's an example of how I use the analytical, the comparative, and the thematic. I give you guys scenarios. Do you understand, Mina? This is my Mekkositic tafsir. My Mekkositic interpretation is based on the analytical, the thematical, and comparative approach. Look at this scenario. Abdul had a dream that a man came and sat with him and gave him some great advice. Abdul believed that the man was Allah, that Allah had taken on the form of this man and had come to him to give him advice because the advice was so good. The advice was so beneficial. This is a basic Aqidah question. What would you guys say to Abdul? If Abdul came to you and told any of you that he had a dream that Allah had taken the form of a man and had come to him to give him some great advice, what would you say to Abdul? Let's hear it. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to hear where you guys are in your belief system. Who would like to try it?
I'll try. I will tell that Abdul's belief system is a little twisted because we can never see Allah in this world, not in dreams. We can only see Allah. The believers will be only able to see Allah in the Akhirah. And also, when it comes to dreams, Shaitan can come and take the form of whatever person and say that I'm Allah or I'm the Prophet, which is not true. Abdul should do like the Prophet say. If you see a dream, if it's good, enjoy it. Tell it to people who love you. If it's bad, seek refuge from it and don't tell it to no one.
MashaAllah. Good answer, Umi Barrow. Good job. That's basic Aqidah. She said she would tell him that that was not a law. Because number one, no one will see Allah. This is basic Aqidah. That's why I'm glad she put that in there. No one will see Allah until the day of judgment. So, but do you guys know that a lot of Muslims would think that that's Allah? A lot of these brothers who think they can change Allah's laws and divide them into categories. They're also telling their people that Allah can inspire them like that in a dream. Good job. So that's the number one thing. No one will get to see Allah until the day of judgment. And one of the new sisters here is saying, we get this question all the time, y'all. MashaAllah. What's your name, sister? I'm trying to read it. Annie, okay, or Ambi. I can't see it, it's so little because you're on that, what is that, LinkedIn? Okay, she's saying, so we get this all the time. All the stuff about Joan of Arc, I get that every time. Joan of Arc, I'm a historian. Joan of Arc did exist. Joan of Arc said that she saw the angel Jabril on a throne. And then she said that she saw Allah. Allah was telling her what to happen. And a lot of her predictions were right until the end. That's Shaitan. Shaitan plays with us. And Shaitan mixes truth with falsehood. Yeah, they won. She won the first 3 battles because Shaitan told her the truth. But you see, she got killed. She didn't win that last battle. He lied. Shaitan will do that to you. And we're going to talk about the jinn later on. Yes, that's going to be covered in this class. Ain't that right, Mina? Yes, we cover the jinn in this book too. That's why I love the book. This is book 1. We will talk about the jinn in this book. Okay, she said that she sees a chapter on it. Yes. Okay, yes. And by the way, guys, there's an audio. There's an audio form of this book too. Remind me, guys, after my class to upload that video of the audio of this book. If you guys, this sister said that she's got a problem seeing. She's legally blind. You can listen to it on audio form. Yes, Sheikh Kareem put this on audio form, and I will upload the video. You can go to his website, go to his YouTube channel, and you will see it there in audio format. If I tell you what pages, just listen to it on YouTube. Yes. Yes. So anyone that tells you that they saw Allah, they're lying. No. Okay, Brother Edward, that's a good question. No, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never saw Allah. And I know there's some mystics out there that tell you the opposite. Where's my dalil? Sahih Bukhari. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said anyone that says that the Prophet saw Allah is a liar. When he went on his night journey, he did not see Allah. He felt his presence. And there's 2 other hadiths, one from Ibn Abbas and another companion too, Bukhari and Muslim. Yeah, Islam is based on the hadiths. It's not based on fatwas or any of that, like these brothers that's changing the laws of Allah want y'all to believe. Okay? Good job. Let's look at the next question. What about this? If you want to know about Allah, knowledge of Allah can only be obtained from where? We talked about this the last time we met. We talked about how since Allah cannot be seen, none of us will ever see him in this world. How can we learn about something that we can't see, we can't feel, we can't touch, we can't taste? So how do we learn about Allah? Who can answer that?
We can only attain knowledge about Allah and what he told us about himself in the Quran through his names and attributes that only he told us of himself.
Okay, so that's the names is how, but so where do you get that knowledge of his names and stuff from? Knowledge about Allah, even his names, can only be obtained from where, guys?
Obtained them from the hadiths where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained us to us the meaning of the names and attributes.
Okay, the hadiths and what else? The Quran, the revelations. Yes, the revelations. Good job, Brother Edward. You got that, Brother Edward? Good job. He said that was tricky. That was tricky. Yes. We only can know of Allah what he's told us. Since no one has ever seen him, only we know of only what he has told us of himself. And to know what he said about himself is through his revelations. The Quran, the hadiths. Okay, that's how we learn. So knowledge of Allah can only be obtained from the Quran or from what the hadiths that mention what he said about himself. Good job. What about this? Now, this is the next question. So, what do we study? If you want to know about Allah, what do we study that will teach us about him? Good job, Jamila. I'm seeing YouTube is lagging. Let me share these answers. Jamila said, we learn about the knowledge through the Prophet Muhammad, the Quran, and Hadith. Good job, Jamila. Fatima, the people of knowledge and the Hadith. Be careful of the people of knowledge. Remember, that's what my introduction was about. The men that call themselves people of knowledge today here in America, they changing Allah's laws. They'll probably change his names too next. Only through Allah's revelation, his books, his words. Good job. Quran and Hadith. Good job. The Quran and Hadith. Good job. Okay, y'all did good. Good job. So YouTube is lagging. LinkedIn is not lagging as much. Good job. Okay. And so what do we study that will teach us about those names? Okay, I got 4 people on Facebook too. I'm learning how to work this program. I don't see any comments on Facebook. I'm seeing here that I got 4 people listening to me on Facebook. Let me see y'all's answers too. All I see is LinkedIn and YouTube. So what do we study? Good job. Good job, Sakina. We study his names and attributes. That's the answer that Yasmin gave. That was for this question. If you want to learn about Allah, you study his names and attributes. And that's where the people lose it. Instead of us learning about Allah, instead of us learning Allah's names and attributes, what are people learning? How to read the Quran, Arabic. Arabic ain't going to teach you nothing about Allah. That ain't going to help you. Next question. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there is nothing which will bring you closer to paradise and move you away from hell that has not been explained to you. This is a basic of Aqidah. What does this mean? What does this hadith mean? When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there's nothing that will bring you close to paradise or take you away from hell that has not been explained to you, what is this meaning? What does this mean?
That's right. He's basically saying that the religion is complete. Nothing can be added to it nor taken away from it. And anything that anybody will come up with it later doesn't apply here, because anything that will, just like they bring us close to Allah, he told us about it, and anything that will protect us from getting into the hellfire. He did taught us about it also.
Good job, Umi Barrel. Good job. Good job. And as Sister Nadia said too, everything is clear, complete. Good job, Edward. Good job, Umi Barrel. Allah didn't forget anything. I'm proud of my new shahadas in here now. Brother Edward, you holding it down for him. Sister, I can't read your name still. Amina or something. Yeah. Abida. Maybe it's Abida. Okay, yes. There's nothing. Allah didn't forget anything. And it's complete. That's why, you know, when y'all hear these famous brothers in America on their YouTube channels talking about how the laws of Allah can be broken down and divided into categories, essential, non-essential, and because of society trends, we have to look at the laws of Allah and doctor them up and do a little changing here, a little grooming there. These brothers are crazy. You're saying that Allah didn't know what was going to happen, that Allah forgot, for Allah didn't complete our religion, that Allah is not supreme. That's why the Prophet said, fall back. He said, if you live to see the fitan, fall back. Y'all see now why he said fall back on la ilaha illallah. Fall back on your belief, because if your aqidah, if your belief system is correct, you can listen to these brothers and say, he ain't nothing. He ain't no scholar. This man crazy. Take his PhD back on somewhere else. He don't even know the basics. How can you be a scholar of religion? You don't understand the basics. Y'all understand? That's why the Prophet said, fall back on your belief system, because that will be what sustains you. He says that in a hadith. What will sustain them is their belief. That means that we won't fall victim to the stupid stuff. We won't fall victim to these brothers changing the laws of Allah. We won't be voting in no elections. I don't care what these brothers say. I'm not supporting LGBTQ. I don't care what these brothers say. I'm not going to go to no mosque and pray beside no man. I don't care what these brothers say. I'm not shaking hands with no man. I don't care what these brothers say. I know my role is my children. I will be educated, because I don't want nobody to be better than me. But I know my role, my lane. Okay? If your aqidah is firm, you won't fall victim to this crap, guys. But unfortunately, most Muslims today don't understand the basics. So we say, it's okay. Sheikh so-and-so said that I can shake hands. It's okay. The sheikh said that women can go to school, become doctors, forget about getting married and all this. Yeah. Last question. Very important. We talked about how the big problem today, 2024, as Muslims, our actions, our behavior, that's dawah. We're supposed to call the people to Islam. But there's a problem with it today, because when it comes to calling to Islam, there are two deficiencies that we suffer with today as callers. You look on the internet, you look in the messages at the people that call themselves the Dawah team. What are the two deficiencies? Who can remember? What are the two deficiencies?
One of them is they don't have any good manners at all. They have no patience for the people, and they can't even control their emotion. They just have bad behaviors.
That's a big one. And what's the other one?
The other one is knowledge. They don't have knowledge to speak.
That's number one. Either they have beautiful behavior, like the brothers here that I'm talking about. This handful, the team that's come up with this new thing, whereas the Sharia law can be divided into categories and subcategories of change and essentials. These brothers have the best character. they're polite, they're articulate, they're well-spoken, they don't argue. You don't see these brothers arguing and debating on TV. Okay? They look handsome in their appearance, but they don't have the correct knowledge. They got all the good behavior, all the good attitude, but no understanding. And then on the other hand, you look at the brothers that's on YouTube debating. These brothers got the correct belief system. They understand that Allah's laws cannot be changed. They understand that we're supposed to be living, following the sunnah of the prophet with the understanding of the companions, but they are aggressive, they're mean, they fight, they call each other kafirs, they slander, they debate, their actions are a turn off. Their actions are just a filthy, filthy turn off. Where's the middle course? Where's the middle course? Where's the middle course? As Muslims, we're supposed to have the knowledge first and foremost, and the behavior, but we don't see it. The brothers that do have the knowledge and the behavior, where are they at? As Beyonce says, I need a soldier. Where they at? Where they at? Where's the soldiers? Where are the soldiers? Where they at? Where they at? Because we're either extreme right or extreme left. Like I said, to check these brothers, to correct these brothers who think that they can change the laws of Allah because of society. The ones with the bad character get on YouTube and blast them. Why not have a meeting where we all coming together from all over, every part of America, and we gonna sit here and tell you we're done. Step down. You're no longer of authority. You've abused your position. As the prophet said, step down. Give it up. The people, like Umar told Khalid bin Walid, the people are ascribing the victory that we have as Muslims to you when instead of Allah. So because of that, Khalid, step down. I am removing you. That's what you other brothers in America need to do. Call this handful of idiots out. The fame done got to them. The task force of America got to them. Step down. You're done. Thank you for your service. Adios. That's the way it should be done. But we don't have that middle. We either the bad conduct or the ones without knowledge, or both. All right, so I'm going to stop right here. This was a quiz. And like I said, this class is so important because this class is the essence of Islam. If your belief system is not correct, nothing is going to go right. And that's the problem. Instead of the Muslims arguing and fighting in America and trying to get into American politics, Allah done told you the Kafirs will never have our interests at heart. They will work to destroy you. They will never accept you. That's why we don't participate in Kafir elections. But these brothers bit the bullet. The wealth, the glamour of this world. What did the prophet say? The later generations, they will succumb to the dunya. They will sell Islam for the miserable price of the dunya, that prestige and status. Y'all need to take these brothers out of these positions. Give them a little pink slip. Thank you for your time. You served a good purpose in the 80s. You served a good purpose in the 90s. But here's your papers. Go retire. Have a good day. All right. So I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Just to let you guys know what else we got today. We got the class with Brother Yusuf on the history of Islam. That's going to be in about 15 minutes or 10 minutes. And also Dramali will be here too. And then we have Mike call in and ask Sister Layla live show at 9:30. Whatever questions y'all have about Islam, whatever comments you want to make about what I talked about today, bring it to the Q&A. All right? All right. So I'm going to log out, but I'm going to log back in about 5 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, guys? Look for the stream that says History of Palestine. All right? So, Assalamu alaikum. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, inshallah.